So I have a problem. All of the metal surfaces in my shop, I have always protected with Johnson's paste wax. And I'm guessing a lot of you out there do the same thing. It's really a staple in any wood shop. My problem is that Johnson's actually discontinued this back at the end of 2021. Why? I don't know. But my supply is getting very low, so it's time I find another solution. So here's my solution. This is a company called Carbon Method, and they have a product called Carbon Coat, which works a lot like a ceramic coat that you would put on your vehicle. But instead, it's specially formulated for cast iron surfaces in your shop. What Carbon Method says about their product is that it's actually a graphene coating that's going to go in and fill in all your cast iron and put a nano layer of protection across the entire top and completely seal the surface so that no water, oils, or chemicals can penetrate and get in there and cause any rust. It also acts as a wear layer, so as you're sliding things across, it's not going to be damaging your top. It's actually going to just be riding on that nano layer of what they say is a 10H, so almost equivalent to like the hardness of a diamond layer of graphene. And they're also located in Michigan, which is where I live, so that's just another plus. And before we go into the application part of this video, I just want to take a minute to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed lately. It's really awesome. We just went over 11,000 subscribers, which is great. So I just wanted to take a minute and say thank you, and I appreciate every one of you. The first thing I do whenever applying a new protective layer to cast iron is clean and buff the entire surface. I start by wiping everything down with denatured alcohol or mineral spirits. This is going to remove any surface level contaminants prior to buffing. And don't forget to clean those miter slots. The top is now clean, but you can still see some light scratching and discoloration. I can remove most of this by buffing the surface. When buffing, I first coat the surface with a lubricant like WD-40, or in my case, I like to use PB Blaster. And when it comes to the buffing process, my preferred method is a red Scotch-Brite pad on a random orbit sander. This can also be done by hand, but save your arms and use a sander. I start by going from side to side, overlapping each pass, and finishing by going front to back, making sure to overlap each one of my passes. I continue doing this over the entire surface until I'm happy with how it looks. After the buffing is complete, there will be a cast iron slurry left on the surface, so I'll go back to step 1 and use denatured alcohol and these wipe all rags to completely clean the surface until there's no more black grime being picked up. And if you're in need of some great disposable shop rags, I cannot recommend these wipe all towels enough. All the products you see in this video will be linked down in the description below. Now that the top is clean, it's time to begin the process of applying Carbon Coat. The first step in the process is to do one final wipe down with Carbon Cleanse. This is the last preparation step before applying Carbon Coat. Just spray Carbon Cleanse over the surface and wipe it clean. At this point, the cast iron has been restored to bare metal and it's ready for Carbon Coat to be applied. To get started, apply 2 lines of Carbon Coat to the application pad, and then start by outlining the area you want to coat. The first wipe is the most important because that is where most of the material will initially be spread. This is called the well line. After I have an area outline, I start at the well line and drag up to the top. This allows me to get even coverage on the surface. Once the surface is covered, I do one final pass, dragging in the opposite direction. Carbon Method also suggests to go from left to right, but I didn't do that here. And here's a close-up view, which shows how most of the material is in that what we're calling a well line, and why it's important to make sure you spread the product from there. I prefer to break the top up into sections, using the miter slots as breakpoints. I work my way down the table, applying the Carbon Coat to the entire surface. I even applied it to the non-metal extension wing. Probably not necessary, but it really shines it up. After 60 to 90 seconds, I come back and do a leveling pass. I hold the application pad at a 45-degree angle and with light pressure, drag it over the surface. At this point, the top looks incredible. And after another 60 to 90 seconds, I come back with a microfiber towel and buff the surface. When you begin buffing, there's going to be a little bit of resistance. It's going to grab the towel a little bit, but as you buff more, the surface will begin to smooth out. Carbon Method suggests to do 3 or 4 coats just like this, waiting at least an hour in between each coat. I also went ahead and applied this to the front rail, as it also has potential to rust. Now here's the most important part. After applying the final application of Carbon Coat, you must wait at least 24 hours for it to cure. After 24 hours, the tool is safe to use, or in my case, I like to then apply 1 or 2 coats of Carbon Glide. Carbon Glide is a friction reducer, which will make it easier to slide material along the surface. All you do is spray it on, wait 60 seconds, and then wipe it off. It's super simple. I also applied this to the front rail and the contact points on my fence. And that's it. Done.